from next week. The latest demand by the group follows the concerns of all teacher unions who have already proceeded on a sit-down strike. After a crunch meeting earlier today, the TUC members here in Accra are already deciding that they may have to withdraw their services from next week if there's no intervention coming through from government on the cost of living allowances. I was there earlier, and this is what I found out. On the Joy News channel, we are coming to you live from the TUC hall. What you see in your shots now are leadership of about 65 different subgroups that you'd find within the public sector workers union. It's actually a group which constitutes some 27,000 workforce, and today they've been holding a crunch meeting, obviously over issues of labor unrest. If you're with us here on the Joy News channel, we have fresh detail coming through after this crunch meeting that this group has held this afternoon, threatening that they may go on strike if government fails to address their worsening conditions. Fortunately, a lot has happened, and we're graced to have the General Secretary, Mr. Bernard Ejay, who's here with us to explain what it is that the concerns of the group is. As you can see in the shot, and just if my cameraman could just give you a pan around of what is happening in the hall as we speak, a lot of meetings and sub-meetings going on just to deliberate and come to that final decision if that strike should happen next week. But Mr. Bernard Ejay will break it all down for us. Good afternoon to you, sir. Welcome to join us.
Good afternoon, and thank you very much for having me.
So give us a clear understanding of what it is that we're experiencing in the hall this afternoon. I see that there are so many people from different groups here, but you'd be in a position to give us a background of what actually led to this meeting today.
All right, thank you very much, my brother. As you know, our economic situation have not been the very best for some time now. And the pressure that all this brings on the ordinary worker is now really biting. We know the prices of food items are increasing by the day. The prices of fuel are increasing by the day. And our members are calling on us to do something. So what you see here is the management committee of our union together with the executives of the 65 divisions of public sector organizations that have come together to deliberate on the issues. And simply put, they have taken a decision that they are feeling the pinch of what is going on with the increases in inflation and the fact that their salaries can no longer take them home, the erosion in our incomes, especially due to the 4% and 7% that was given for 2021 and 2022. All that has been eroded away because our projected inflation and how we thought the economy would go has failed, and those were the basis of those decisions. So what we are calling for is what the TUC, we are part of TUC, have called for and have written that government should take steps to reduce or help to ameliorate the suffering that is on the ordinary workers. And the decision has been taken by the structures of the union.
So let's talk about the decisions and what the likely implications will be. First of all, how did you arrive at the decision, and what decision did you put on the table today?
All right, as the management committee met, the decision that has come, which all the divisions have supported, was that we write to the appropriate authorities declaring our intentions to lay down our tools if our concerns are not heard or listened to. And we are going to put together the communication. We'll send it to the Labour Commission, Ministry of Employment, and all those who matter. We'll have a press release, and if you, the media, you'd also get the full details of the decisions that have been taken here. But the bottom line is we are given 7 days, as the labor law requires, that our concerns are addressed. If not, we lay down our tools.
Okay, so basically what might happen, and from what you're telling us now, it means that in the next 7 days, we should expect that if nothing is done to address your concerns, you may lay down your tools. Is that what you...
That's what we are saying, especially our COLA that we are asking for of 20%, which the TUC on our behalf have clearly communicated to the authorities since May Day. And we had a letter to follow up with that. And nothing has come out of that. It's biting. People are suffering. People can take transport back forth to work. People can't buy food to eat. It's really difficult for public sector workers.
How difficult is it? Because a lot of people will question that. People would say we're in that time where we are all having difficulties, so try and adjust and hold on for that.
Well, I believe we have adjusted, and that is why we took the 4% and 7%. It is with that understanding. But what happened to Article 71? What happened when we took 4%? So workers can no more carry the burden. When the banking sector or the financial sector was suffering, there was a bailout.
Yeah, but you agree that, for instance, the Article 71 members have declared a 30% cut, for instance, in their salaries. That's readjusting their personal budget too.
Yeah, let me add to it. The Ghanaian worker is the only group in the equation who don't have the right to increase their salaries to commensurate the cost of living until a year elapses. Traders can increase prices today. Government inflationary indicators changes every single day. Yet the employee salary is constant until it's reviewed. And you admit, and as he said, the 4% and 7% were accepted on the assumptions that inflation would be around 8%. And as you know today, even when the 20% was declared by TUC, inflation was at 27%. And so TUC said, you gave me 7%, inflation is 27. It means that the cost of living difference is about 20. But today, as we speak, the inflation is about 30% now. So the employee's work income is constantly being eroded due to economic indicators, yet the employee has no right to seek redress. And this is a collective decision. Just as government finds commitment and some projects important and looks for money to undertake such projects, a lot of them, you can mention them, that the same agency, the same commitment that government gives to some projects, you must see this also as an...
So you are saying that you've done enough sacrifice to this? But the indication we're getting right now is that, for instance, the president, as we're learning, has directed that all the labor concerns should be addressed. That would mean that you would have to go into the boardroom again to work out your concerns. Won't you give much more time to government to...
So my brother, this is a structure of the union. We are not of ourselves. We are leaders. We are leaders. We are leaders. We speak on behalf of people. These are the people feeling what is going on. This is what they have said. This is what they have said. Government has been communicated to government. And as my chairman has said, just as they find ways of resolving other issues and projects, they have to find ways for us to resolve this. If they call us, fine, we negotiate. So we will go and sit down and hear. But this is the call of our members.
What are you putting on the table? What exactly are you putting on the table?
We are requesting for a 20% COLA to reduce the current suffering. That should be given. That should be given. That's what we are looking at now.
It is obvious that the income is eroded. How? It's eroded because, like I said earlier on, if you were earning 100 cedis at that time that we took the 4%, and you had 4% increment, your salary would have gone up by 104, right? And that assumption was that inflation would have been around 7% or 8%. So even if my salary comes back by 4%, it could manage. But today it is almost 30%. You have eroded my income by about 24%. So my 100 is no more. I've gone to about 68. We are not asking you to give an increment. We say try and restore us even back to the 100 or 104. Before we even come to discuss about, we know that the economy is tight, so nobody's asking for increment. We are trying to say, cushion us from that 68, I've lost by 100 up to 68.
There's a concern about the other labor unions that are already putting out their concerns on the COLA as well. Are you going to join them, or you're going to take an independent action?
Well, for now, we have come out. This is structures that have taken a decision. It's communicated. The TUC also has a structure. Other unions also have. So we've heard what other union, and you could see they also went through their structures. So definitely definitely, if it gets to a point where our concerns and needs coincide, why not? We are all asking for the same thing, and we are stakeholders. So we would all together go and embark on the same actions. And it's not only us, even the retirees. The retirees, because the president promised on a May Day here at the TUC forecourt that the difference on those under 8766 and 247, if you retired in December 2019 and your colleague retired in January 2020, your lump sum will not be the same. You who retire under the new pension scheme, you get a lower a lump sum than the one, and the president promised that they will be paid. Up to today, the pensioners are crying. The system is hard. They also need support. So we are calling for that as well. So 20% for the COLA for those of us who are currently working, and then the difference in pensions for those who left under 766.
Okay, so give us an idea of what will happen next week. Are you able to give us a lineup? Are you starting with armbands? And how
the letters will come with the details, okay. And then when the letters come with the details, the media, you are stakeholders, and so
what you mean to tell us is that something is likely to happen.
Something definitely is likely to come.
But just give us an idea.
No,
we will communicate that to you.
So, are you threatening government basically by this action and this vote that you are
threatening? We are carrying the decisions of our members, and the details of it will be communicated, and everybody will receive it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So thank you, my brother.
So what's your final message to government on this? Probably a lot of people in authority are watching right now, just to know the exact message you are sending out.
The message we are sending out is that what the workers are going through and expressing is very real, and there's a need to attach urgent attention to it.
And to add to that, 65 public institutions have met, and they have decided today, not us. And this includes, check the list. You can see the logos here. And these are real threats. If government will listen and do the needful, cushion the suffering worker with the COLA, I'm sure that the same team will meet again.
I'm not scared that the IMF program may affect your negotiations.
We don't want to talk about IMF. We don't want to
it may affect
we only want to caution that any negotiations government is doing with IMF, the workers' salaries or wages should not be sacrificed. Well, it's too early to go there.
To say that for now it's on COLA. Let's focus on the COLA. When the time comes for us to IMF, I'm sure we'll do that.
Next week, have you contacted the Employment Relations Ministry?
My brother, the details of everything will come out on Tuesday. I know what he's asking, but I can assure you that on Tuesday we'll communicate the details to you. There are other activities at the TUC level. This is my national chairman. He's also vice chair for TUC. So we will avail ourselves for whatever engagement government wants to have and all that. But our members have spoken, and that is what we are going to work with right now.
And there you have it. We're here at the TUC hall, and as we have it, obviously we can confirm to you right now that over 65 different unions have confirmed that they will be progressing and moving to that stage where they're likely to lay down their tools. And of course, the indications we're getting after this crunch meeting that has been held is that if nothing is done by next week in terms of engagement with government and other stakeholders, then the group will be forced to proceed to withdraw their activities. But they have a tall list of industrial signals that they may be sending across from next week. The indication we're getting from Jubilee House is that the president has asked that all the labor concerns be addressed immediately. We do not know whether that would involve the public sector workers union, but for now, what we're expecting that may happen in the coming days is that you start to see some agitations across 65 different public sector institutions. Let's give you a feel of what's happening around the hall. You can see that clearly a lot of deliberations are still going on. Many people still working out some paperwork to try and see what it is that the local chapters have been saying about the decision to proceed now or next week. That has been on the table all throughout. Where we are now is the hall, and let me just give you a little view of what's happening around so you understand what's going on. You see right now in your shot various leadership deliberating, a lot of talks going on between the various chapters that are in the hall right now. But as we have it now, is that likely over 27,000 of Ghana's workforce may proceed on strike next week if government fails to in fact acknowledge the concerns first of all, and also progress to do whatever it is that they believe is needful. The basic demand has been about the conditions of services allowance and the cost of living allowance, which they are actually asking for and putting strongly on the table. So we'll bring you some updates as and when we have them. But Blessed Suga reporting right now from the TUC hall, where that meeting has just ended amongst leadership of some 65 different unions, labor unions, under the umbrella of the Public Sector Workers Union. Now, the indication we're also getting is that at the bigger level, the Trades Union Congress is also tabling a lot more concerns on the cost of living allowances. It's all coming up, and some of these concerns will definitely be on the table from next week. I guess that's why the president is giving the directive. We'll wait to see what then happens, but for now, we can confirm to you that that resolution has been made by some 65 different labor unions.